Welcome to What Gear Reviews, and as you already know, I'm doing a camera comparison between three of the top tier flagship smartphones in 2022. And to be honest with you, if you owned any of these three, you'd be incredibly happy with the camera performance. But the question is, in what areas do these cameras shine? And overall, which one is the best? Well, that's what we're aiming to find out by the end of this video, and the night section will be at the end, so stick around for that. But let me talk you through the camera hardware first, and then we'll get into the photos. So on the Oppo Find X5 Pro, the primary shooter is a 50 megapixel Sony IMX766. What's interesting here is the ultra wide is also the same IMX766. The telephoto has a 5x optical zoom and a 13 megapixel sensor behind it, and the selfie camera is a 32 megapixel shooter. And it's definitely worth mentioning, this has a 5-axis image stabilization feature built into it, and also Hasselblad have put their branding on it, and it has a dedicated MPU, the Mari Silicon X, which apparently should make this perform even better. And that design right there for the camera module is unique. It's kind of like a pillow under a duvet, and it's all one piece, so that's pretty awesome. Then we've got the Xiaomi 12 Pro. They've actually one-upped Oppo here because they've got three 50 megapixel sensors. The primary sensor is a Sony IMX707, which is one of the largest image sensors you can get from Sony right now. I believe the other two are Samsung sensors, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and the selfie shooter has a 32 megapixel sensor behind it. And when it comes to the design on the actual camera module itself, it's subtle but classy. It's got this really nice laser cut or diamond cut bezel right around the edges. I think this looks awesome. And then of course we got the iPhone. All four of the image sensors on the iPhone are Sony IMX sensors, the primary being an IMX703. The camera module is this kind of cooking stove top setup. And one thing I've noticed, having owned this for quite a while now, is it's really hard to keep this looking shiny. Even though it may seem the iPhone has a disadvantage with the 12 megapixel sensors, it's not all about megapixels. It's more about the image processing and what's going on behind the scenes, and also the lens technology as well. So something I didn't mention on the Oppo is they use a lot of glass lenses, so I'm expecting that one to be the dark horse in this. But then maybe the Xiaomi will win because it's got that huge image sensor. Anyway, that's enough talk. You ready to see some photos? Let's go. Okay, so I made a note not to bore you guys to death with all my own opinions. Instead, I'll let you guys be the judge, jury, and executioner of these three phones when it comes to photos and videos. However, I will highlight some key things that I noticed just for you to look at when you're making your comparisons. Make sure you leave your opinions in the comments below, because I'm sure everybody else will be interested to hear them just as much as I am. Anyway, this is a picture of good old Big Ben in central London. They've finally taken the scaffolding off of it, and what you'll notice here is how the Oppo Find X5 Pro has a completely different color science with this kind of photo than the other two. It has certainly boosted up the saturation in the sky. It's way bluer in that photo than in the others. Also, the browny green coming from the River Thames is boosted in color as well, and the shadows are quite dark, and you can notice that on the brickwork on the left hand side of the photo. When you look at the Xiaomi and the iPhone though, the Xiaomi seems to have a brighter image overall, and that's probably because of the bigger image sensor. It's basically a bigger version of the one that the iPhone is using, but they're very similar when it comes to color science in general. The sky colors, the color on the water, they're all very close. I will say the Xiaomi edges out the iPhone here for realism. The Find X is enhanced but looks really cool, and probably most people would pick that given the choice. And the iPhone's the happy medium here. So let me know in the comments, which one do you think wins this one? I know it's a tough question. And before you leave that comment, check this out. Let's do a 640% zoom on the clock tower there. You can see again the color science on the iPhone and the Xiaomi are very close, and then it's completely different on the Oppo. Let me know, in your opinion, which one won this first photo, and let's check out photo 2. So this is a telephoto picture taken from a little bit further down the river, and we've got a completely different setup here on each camera. So on the Find X5 Pro we have a 13 megapixel sensor, and on the Xiaomi we've got a 50 megapixel sensor. I believe that's a Samsung. And then on the iPhone, we've got another Sony 12 megapixel sensor. And again, I think I have to say the brightest image and maybe the most natural image is the Xiaomi 12 Pro. We're getting that enhanced look there on the Find X5 Pro, which looks awesome. But you can see on the water in the foreground how much blue is adding. And to be honest, the River Thames, I don't think it's ever been blue. And then the iPhone again is very similar to the Xiaomi, a bit darker, a bit more contrast. Very realistic though, so thumbs up for that as well. Let me know which one you think wins the telephoto. Check this out, here's a selfie I took at a press event for Virgin Media in central London. And I did clean the lenses in front of the cameras before I took this photo, if anybody's wondering. Straight away, my eyes are drawn to the iPhone 13 Pro Max photo. It looks the sharpest, the most realistic. The skin tones seem pretty accurate to me. The Xiaomi 12 Pro, I didn't change any settings, and it's definitely taken a few of those wrinkles out from under my eyes, so that's a good thing. And then the Find X5 Pro is also doing a good job. It's close to the iPhone. I think maybe it's shifted the color balance a little bit more to the magentas, and it's definitely losing some details there in my jacket. It's looking a bit pixelated. So I think this one has to be hands down win for the iPhone. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. So now, like I said at the beginning, I don't want to bore you guys to death with all my own opinions. So I'm going to roll some photos for you guys. I took a bunch of them. So I've put together a little slideshow for you guys to check out. If you notice anything that stands out as a major win for any of the phones, let me know in the comments. And then I'll join you again just before the slow-mo comparison and the video tests. So let me know what you thought of those photos and which one seems to be performing the best. But it's really difficult to say because when you look at this picture, for example, in the previous photos, a lot of the Oppo pictures have been quite saturated when it comes to colors. But in this one, it's actually the Xiaomi that's more saturated. So it's to do with the scene detection and the camera AI that's going on behind the scenes. That's what I was talking about earlier on. And actually, in this particular photo, the Oppo Find X and the iPhone seem to be the most realistic, whereas the Xiaomi seems to have gone for this kind of artistic, Instagram-worthy color. So I'll understand if you guys are kind of on the fence like I am when it comes to picking a winner. But anyway, now let's check out some videos side by side. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying this video so far. Right, welcome to the night shootout. Thank you for making it this far into the video. And as you can see straight away in the first photo, the Oppo Find X5 Pro has a massive advantage here, and that's probably down to the Hasselblad collab, but also that NPU that they're calling the Mari Silicon X. So this image processing chip is dedicated to enhancing photos, and quite specifically around night photos. So you can actually see it in action here. And whilst I am impressed with the iPhone photo, I do feel like the Find X5 Pro photo is the winner here. And the Xiaomi really is producing a nice accurate image, because if you stood where I was standing when I took this photo, you wouldn't be able to see the bulb like it appears there. It kind of would look more like what you're seeing on the Xiaomi photo, and the sky was dark. So I would go as far as to say the Xiaomi 12 Pro is the most accurate in this scenario. The Find X5 Pro looks the best and is handling that HDR at night the best, followed by the iPhone. So they've all got a little win in different areas. Let me know what you think of this photo, and let's move on to the next one. So I know what you're thinking, this isn't a night photo, what the hell is this? Well, check this out. I revisited this spot a little later in the day so you can see how it looks at night. And let's work from left to right here. So on the Oppo Find X5 Pro, we're getting that enhanced saturation again, similar to what we saw in the day shots. We're still getting that here, and you can notice that on the red sort of hue across the white wall on the right hand side of the photo. The Xiaomi 12 Pro, I believe, has the brightest image of them all, and again, that's down to that massive image sensor that it has. The bigger the image sensor, the more light it can capture, and that's what we're seeing in full effect here on the Xiaomi photo. Now, the iPhone photo looks really good because they've somehow managed to bump up the color saturation on the actual focal point of the image without allowing that red light to bleed into the image like what we're seeing on the Oppo photo. I don't know what Apple do with their software, but it's something very clever, because it really has produced a great photo here. Maybe not the most realistic, but maybe the most eye-pleasing. Let me know what you think. And check this out. Here's another shot again in the daytime. And in this daylight shot, I would say the Oppo looks the most realistic. And then when we look at the night shot, same photo, the Oppo does a great job of handling the HDR, but slightly sacrifices the brightness on the actual focal point of the image a little bit. Again, the Xiaomi 12 Pro has that really bright image sensor. And then the iPhone looks great. It's got a big lens flare right in the middle, which is a bit of an eyesore, but in terms of details, it's very good. I'm leaning towards the Xiaomi on this one. And then here's me posing for a picture, praying that nobody wants to use these stairs whilst my camera timer was counting down. And it seems to be a recurring theme here with the Xiaomi 12 Pro. It is the brightest image sensor of the three. And the reality is that hoodie that I'm wearing actually is a very light shade, like what you're seeing in the Xiaomi photo. In the Find X5 Pro photo, the hoodie looks a little more grey than it actually is in real life, although I do really like the overall colour that it's got in that photo. And the iPhone again is somewhere in between the two, and is arguably doing the best when it comes to handling the light condition there, so the lights aren't blowing out the sky like we're seeing on the other two. It's a tough one. Let me know which one you think wins this one. So now's the time, guys. Let me know overall, if you could only pick one, which one of these is your winner. And if you guys want to see some side-by-side night video footage, make sure you're following me over on Twitter, or check out my website at whatgear.net. I'll be posting some stuff there so you guys can see how good the Oppo Find X5 Pro is when it comes to night video. And I appreciate you guys for watching this one, and if you enjoyed it, a thumbs up would make my day, subscribe would make my month, and if you've just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. See you in the next one. Don't be late.